Good morning, friends, and welcome back to the Homestaying Housewife. I am Monica for those of you that are new to my channel, and today we're going to be canning up some green tomatoes. For those that have been following for a while and you're like, hey, we haven't seen you in a couple months, there is a good reason for that. I was kind of stretching myself thin, but I was doing 4 farmers markets back to back since late April. And so I was doing that. I started helping out my very dear friends next door on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I literally had no day off. So yesterday was actually my first day off. I got a ton of stuff done in the garden, which I will be bringing you a video on that because my husband and I are doing a lot of different things that we're going to take a break and actually not do a garden this year, and that didn't really happen. And so now we actually have more plants than we've ever had planted or waiting to be planted, and it's June 30th. But that's how crazy the weather's been. Like, yeah. So I have so many green tomatoes that were honestly harvested before the plants were even in the ground. That's how crazy this year's been. Let me know if your garden season has been even close to as crazy as mine. So anyway, stuff is planted. We have tons of green tomatoes, and we need to do something with them because while I love a good fried green tomato, it is time to can up and stop eating fried green tomatoes because we're actually already getting some red tomatoes from the garden. So I'm switching from the fried green tomato to the tomato sandwich, which I posted what did I call it? A BTOC, a bacon, tomato, onion, cucumber sandwich. Highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend on sourdough. All right, so let's dive right in to these canned green tomatoes. On the National Center for Food Preservation website, it says at the beginning of the tomato section that green tomatoes are more acidic than red tomatoes and can be substituted for any of the tomato canning recipes. It is water bath canned, so it is great for beginners. And let's go. Okay, so what I am doing is kind of separating everything and really prepping for 2 different canning recipes. The next one will be coming up in a different video. It is salsa verde with green tomatoes. So right now what I have going on is anything that has turned. So we have some nice pretty tomatoes. Those are getting set aside for a different canning recipe. And then anything that is green but is starting to kind of turn. So you can see there's some yellow there. Those are the ones that I'm chopping. Also, anything that's real little that I'm not going to turn into a fried green tomato, those are getting chopped as well. Everything else is getting sliced in 1/4-inch slices. You just need to wash them. You do not need to core them, peel them, nothing. So all I'm doing, let me bring you right over here. You would cut off this end, cut off this end, and then make your 1/4-inch slices. And just try to do it as evenly as you can. So there they are. And that is all I am going to be doing right now, is just going through the 6 flats of green tomatoes that I have. All right, so we have everything chopped or sliced or separated for sauce. I ended up with, I think, almost 3-gallon Ziploc bags of the chopped green onions for our salsa verde. I am so excited to bring along for that recipe. Anyway, we have a nice, clean, wide mouth jar. You can do these in quarts, pints, or even half pints. You just want to make sure it's wide mouth. It's going to make everything a lot easier. And then you take your tomato slices, and just one right after the other. And we're going to stack it almost to the top. We're going to stack it right to this 1-inch mark, or as close as we can to it. Okay, and these are the ends and pieces. So that is what it looks like right now. So after you get those tomatoes in, you want to add 4 pints, or I'd say even half pints, just because you want to be on the safe side. You need either a tablespoon of bottled lemon juice or a 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid, and that is for the pints. So if you were wanting to do quarts, you would just double that. So you would want either a half a teaspoon of citric acid or 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I find the citric acid works wonderfully, and you can't tell that it's in there. And it's more bang for your buck than the amount of lemon juice that you would need for the amount of tomatoes that I'm getting ready to be canning this year. The second thing you can add, which I am omitting, is the optional salt. You can do a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon for, pints, quarts, whatever. It really is just up to you whether you want it or not. But my green tomatoes get salt in the breading, so they don't need it in the jar. And it is just an optional choice. So now we want to add boiling water to a 1/2 inch of headspace. And then we debubble. Make sure after you debubble that your headspace is fine. We're at a 1/2 inch. Wipe the rim of your jar, and then your lid and ring cleaned, fingertip tight, and that is all there is to it. So now this, for pints, it is going to get water bath canned for 40 minutes. For quarts, it's 45 minutes. All right, friends, so it is the next morning. We are still canning, so I wanted to actually show you a compare and contrast of the finished product versus before they are canned. So here is one before it has been canned. And you can see it's still that nice, pretty green. And then this is after it's canned. So I wanted to make sure to show you so that you weren't like, oh my gosh, what happened to my tomatoes? So there's a side-by-side, which this happens with any type of vegetable. Green beans are going to be nice, vibrant green, and then they turn into a nice, darker green whenever they're canned. It's just what happens during the canning process. They are perfectly fine. So once everything is out of the canner, you want to make sure that everything seals. All of our jars have sealed so far. We still have plenty more that we're doing. And a question that I get asked every time is, oh my goodness, my stuff's floating. Did I do something wrong? Absolutely not. Whenever you are raw packing a vegetable or a fruit, there is going to be extra air in that vegetable. And so it is going to cause it to float up. Nothing's wrong with it. Our headspace is good. Everything is sealed. There is nothing wrong with them floating. It does not do anything. They are perfectly safe. So I am so excited to have so many of these on my pantry shelf. And then come November, December, when I don't have fresh green tomatoes anymore, we will be popping one of these open and doing some recipes with them. And I'm really excited to bring you along for that. So if you have not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. I hope you try some canned green tomatoes for yourself. They're just a wonderful thing to have on your shelf, not just for fried green tomatoes, but we have some other recipes that we want to use them for as well. And I hope everyone is having a beautiful Monday morning, and I will see you all on my next video. Thanks for watching.